We reporting live on my man Andy Vences. How you feel?
I feel good, man. Feel good. Just living another day and just right here, man.
So we out here in San Jose, your hometown. So, you know what I mean, tell people, you know what I mean, a little bit where you from. I know we in San Jose, you know, but, you know, enlighten people where you from and...
What's up, man? What's going on?
Just say what's up real quick.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Hey, good, man.
Doing good. How about you guys?
Good, man. Good.
Andy.
Tiburon, man. That's I seen you on the net.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking time, man. I was bullshit. You had that shit, bro.
It's all good. It's all good.
Time, man.
It is what it is, man.
Hey, but you still got the belt, though.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. Take care, man.
All right, bro.
Good luck on your picture, man. Me out there.
All right, bro. Gracias, dude.
Look at that, man. My man. Look at that. City fan favorite, man. How it feel when people come up to you like that?
Oh, man, it feels great, bro. But, you know, this is what I'm representing. I'm representing this city. Every time I fight in the ring, I represent San Jose. So I got a lot of fans. I got a lot of people behind me. They're here. They're just waiting for a fight to come close to home, and they all go show out.
Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, I get that a lot. It's been happening a lot more ever since my fight on ESPN, my last fight. I feel a lot of people, you know, tuned in. We had more than a million viewers, so it was crazy. It was good exposure.
All right, we'll get right into it, man. You know what I'm saying? So tell people about Andy Vences. Tell people about you.
Well, I'm Andy El Tiburon Vences. I wasn't a standout amateur like all these other fighters that get signed to different promoters. But here I am. I grinded every day, and now I'm 20-0, 1 draw with 12 knockouts. I'm currently the WBC Continental Americas champion, and you know, I'm just putting in work every day and you know, living life, being happy, and following my dream. Here I am, man. Are
you in the gym right now?
Yeah, I'm in the gym right now. I'm staying in the gym about four times a week right now. Just staying moving, just staying active. I'm working a lot too, so just keeping up with that until I get a fight day. I'll start camp, and then the focus is boxing, you know.
So I know you're from San Jose. Tell the people, like, San Jose is kind of big. I'm from the Bay Area. What part of San Jose, like, are you repping, or just the whole thing at whole?
No, yeah, the whole San Jose. But I currently reside right now in South San Jose, right there on Blossom Hill and Snell. So I live right there. But San Jose is huge, man. I think San Jose is so big. And, you know, it feels great being from a city that gave me the opportunity to start boxing. It wasn't until, you know, when I was younger and I moved to San Jose that San Jose gave me the opportunity to find boxing. So that's why I say I'm from San Jose, because San Jose granted me that opportunity to start a career that is now what I call it, took over, you know, it's my life.
All right. So Andy, man, tell the people, like, you know, why you get into boxing.
Honestly,
you know,
I
being
got
from
into
San Jose, what made you get into boxing?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. I got into boxing because, you know, I was in martial arts. My dad had me in martial arts at the time when I was younger. But I got into boxing because, you know, a lot of friends, a lot of people know me out here too. I used to always get into fights in school. I used to always get into fights even during high school when I started boxing. So I really took on a pro career because I saw that if I was able to handle myself out here with bigger guys, I knew I could make something happen with guys that were my size, my weight. So it became more of a reality as a kid, getting in there with guys in the streets, bigger size, bigger guys, bigger people that were older than me, and I was over here putting hands on them. So when I saw that, I was kind of like, you know what, maybe I could make something out of this. And that's kind of why I just kept striving and working hard, because I knew it was gonna happen. Kind of was like a reality check when all that was happening. My street fights kind of opened my eyes a little more towards that dream.
So I'm looking, man, do you have 2 different nicknames, or you just go by the Shark, just the one?
Oh, no, they like to say, some people like to say Shark just because in English they don't know what a tiburón means, but it means the shark. But yeah,
pronounce that again. Pronounce that again.
El tiburón. So yeah, when I go in the ring, I am El tiburón. I know a lot of people have changed it to the Shark, you know, for the English speakers, but I am known for El tiburón. And you know, we're here in San Jose. That's the city of sharks. We got the Shark Tank, Killer Sharks, and you know, when I smell blood, I go for the kill. And I got devastating knockout power and a lot of speed, so that's where I got El Tiburón from.
Is boxing big in the San Jose area?
It's big. It used to be huge back in the day. Back when Robert Guerrero, Victor Ortiz were all fighting at the HP Pavilion, which is now the SAP Center. It was big. Golden Boy used to be in here big time. HBO was down here at the SAP Center. Boxing was huge here. There was fights every week at the convention center back in the day. But I feel, you know, because of the area and the prices, like, a promoter hasn't had a hometown star to kind of bring the fans, you know. So I feel like when I become a world champion, I think that's when they'll kind of realize, you know what, we could have some fights in San Jose, and that'll be the day I bring boxing back. So that's one of my goals.
So since Ward has retired, it's kind of open for the Bay Area. Like, since you're saying that, it's a good lane for a star.
Right.
Do you feel like you can get into that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's my goal, to blow it up out here. I feel like, you know, it's known, but I feel there's work to be done. But I know my job as a fighter, nothing's gonna happen if I don't prove myself in the ring. So first things first, get myself, make a bigger name, really show people who a Tiburon is around the world. And once that happens, maybe I'll have that power to kind of make things happen here. But first things first, I gotta keep winning, gotta keep grinding, and just stay focused.
What's kind of the things you do, like, you know, for the community and on social media to like build your name up? Because like you said, it's kind of difficult for boxers, you know what I'm saying, to really build their name, but they really need that fan support, the community support. So what's kind of the few things you do to stand out so you can get that kind of audience?
Well, you know, I work closely with my marketing advisor, Hector Ruiz, and what we kind of do, we work closely with the Humane Society of Silicon Valley, who's for animals. We've also done community speeches to schools, out in elementary schools for the kids, to show them why they got to stay in school, why they got to work hard, and what it is they're capable of doing if they stay focused. So, you know, just developing myself and contributing back to the community in various ways, you know, that'll get me out there as well. But like I said, you know, at the end of the day, you gotta know that if you're not winning and you're not doing what you have to, nothing's gonna happen. It doesn't matter how much community work you're doing, whatever you do, it won't happen. As long as you win, they can't deny you, and that's what I feel. As long as you win, they're gonna hear about you, they're gonna see you, and they're gonna have to fight you.
So being in from San Jose area, has boxing kept you from, like, you know, the gang culture? Is it, you know, I know you have like some family, some friends in it. How has that helped you, you know, on a positive note to, you know, get away from that?
I just feel boxing as a, you know, I was always around the wrong people, but I feel because of boxing I was just so involved, you know. I was always tired going to school. After school I had training. Boxing kept me so busy I didn't have time for all the BS. Like, it was just a daily grind in the gym because I felt I was trying to prove myself in the gym rather than prove myself in the streets. I felt in the gym I was getting my ass kicked, so I was having to train to prove myself somewhere else. So yeah, man, it just so busy I didn't have time for nothing. I barely had time for the girls, the couple of girls that I was seeing at the time. You know, there was no time, you know.
Yeah.
But boxing has always been my priority, and it's been before everything.
So your last fight, good fight, I want to say, man, it was very exciting, man, from the beginning to the end. Eric De Leon, were you satisfied with the outcome? Is it a rematch in play? If you can get in a time machine, go back, would you do anything differently? Or would you, you know, you satisfied with how you went, and was you satisfied with the outcome?
Nah. I think every fight I'm never satisfied. That's right off the bat. I'm never satisfied. There's always something that you wish you could have, would have, should have done. But you kind of got to learn from that, put it in the past. But as far as the draw, you know, man, every interview I do is different, you know, because after every interview, sometimes I look back at the fight again, just to look at it. And I start seeing the fight differently than when I had first saw it right after the fight. And you know what? Looking at it over and over, it was a close fight. It was a good fight. You know, I see it closer now than what I saw it right after the fight. But I obviously still think I won, but I feel it is what it is, and I feel things happen for a reason. I feel some of the best fighters and some of the best trilogies have been from a draw. You got Juan Manuel Marquez with Pacquiao, that was a draw, and that ended up being 3-4 fights of the best in history. So I feel this puts in bigger place. You know, if Eric becomes a world champion and when I become a world champion, they'll probably rematch us with titles on the line. It'll be that much bigger. So like I tell you, it is what it is. It's a great learning experience. I still have the belt here in San Jose. So if anything, yeah, I'm always adding to my game right now what I could have, should have, would have done. And that's just going to make me that much better. I feel people still haven't seen El Tiburon at his best. If you think I fight like that, go ahead and think I fight like that. I don't really have a style. I develop my style based on each fighter that I'm going to fight. That's how I go based. Everybody knows Eric was an aggressive fighter. There's no way I was going to win the same fight he was trying to fight. So that's why it turned into the counter puncher, kind of like the hit and don't get hit that night. But you know, it takes practice. It takes a lot of months, but it could be done. You know. But I definitely know what I need to add to beat ERICK. Not just beat him, but beat him convincingly, and maybe knock him out the next time coming around. But I'm kind of moving past that, and I'm kind of looking just moving on. You know?
So y'all, it's not a rematch in play right away. It's going to be down the line.
Yeah, for sure it'll be down the line, because even me as a fighter, I put so much hard work into that fight. Going into that fight, I feel like it needs to be neutral grounds. I feel it needs to be in Vegas. I feel it needs to be a main event, and I feel it needs to be for obviously a lot more money. So until those things happen, that rematch will happen. So until then, I'm not even thinking about that rematch.
So just tell me one thing that you would do differently if you can go back.
If I would go back looking at that fight, the only thing I would do differently that I feel is every time I made a miss and got the angle, go forward offensively. Every time. Just go forward offensively off every angle I make a miss, just shoot forward. Like I have been practicing, I was just being smart and being a little too cautious.
So you out here in San Jose, man? Are you a hockey fan? I'm from the Bay Area, man.
I watch the Sharks. It's hard to follow sports, man. Like even football, basketball, everything out here is hard to follow just because I'm so wrapped up in my own routine. But yeah, man, San Jose Sharks fan for sure.
You been to a few games?
Yeah, for sure. I've been invited with some friends. I had the privilege of going when the time allowed itself. I went, but yeah.
So I just wanted to say, you said you got a busy schedule. Do you follow boxing? Like, are you a boxing head, like every fight on social media, or you just you wrapped into what you're doing, you don't really have that time to look at other people and other things, or how do you come about that?
For sure, I'm wrapped up in boxing, like the whole thing. I'm a boxing head. There's fights Thursday, Friday night on ESPN in Puerto Rico, wherever they're happening. I'm watching those fights, whether it's Golden Boy, Top Rank, HBO, especially if they're fights in my weight class, I'm tuned in. Yeah, I'm a boxing head, bro. So every weekend, even if it's basketball, hockey going on, I'm just watching what's boxing related. Because I feel like that's what I do, and I feel like, if anything, I'm still learning the sport. You're always learning the sport. You never stop learning.
So I know coming up, through your amateurs and training, you have a lot of friends you spar with and stuff like that. I'm gonna ask you, is it friends in boxing? And if it was a time that you can fight one of your friends that you knew coming up, would you take that fight?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say right now, just because I'm not in that position. But friend, what do you mean friend-wise though?
Is it friends in boxing? You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of times it'd be a situation where it can turn friends to enemies. And it's not really a friend no more.
I feel like there's friends, but as soon as, like I've always told people, as soon as they sign a contract with me, that's not a friend anymore. That's an enemy, because that's somebody that's trying to take what I'm trying to provide for my family and myself. So yeah, immediately that's an enemy. But now it's hard to find loyal friends nowadays. So we don't even know what a friend is nowadays. I'm just glad I have the people I have around me, and I just keep my circle small, just because I don't really add new people in my circle, just because loyalty is a hard thing to find nowadays.
Your weigh-in, your last fight, man, it was a little tense. It was. That's what I'm saying. So was that something that just came right there in the moment, or that's something you was like, man, you was feeling, or what came about on that?
That's something. As soon as I got signed to Top Rank, leading up to that fight, as soon as I got signed to Top Rank, I looked at the weight class and I saw everybody in my weight class that was signed to Top Rank in that division. So I already knew who was kind of the opponents and the victims coming in the future. So that was happening all along. That was all that week. I feel he was quiet all week, and I kind of got in his head, which is he got crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's part of boxing. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy everything about it, whether it's the interviewing, the press conferences, the weigh-ins. I enjoy everything, because I feel I was born for this. I love the fighting. I love everything leading up. Makes it that much better when you got to fight them.
Do you think boxing beef is like the same in hip hop? Like in rap, they be like, man, keep it on wax. If you take it outside the wax, that's not hip hop. So in boxing, what if you went against somebody that did some tweets about you, man, or disrespecting you? Do you keep it at that, or after you done with the fight, like if you beat them up, do you just you leave it alone, like, man, or does it stay tapped in?
Yeah, if you're after the fight, it's kind of like it's over, After the fight, it's over. But I feel after this fight, obviously there's things to be continued, and they'll be continued at a later date. But yeah, usually after the fights, what happens, happens. It's over. I'm all good after the fights. Sometimes a lot of the guys I fight, they're still hella butthurt after the fight just because how intimidating I was leading up. But that's them. But after the fight, it's me. And I feel like a lot of people don't know me outside the ring. I'm a whole different person. But you know, a lot of people got to understand when you put somebody in that ring, it's a whole different world. It's a whole different world. Yeah. And it's someone after you. It's either you or him, kill or be killed. That's the mentality you got to have.
Yeah. So you signed the Top Rank, man. Is there, with Bob Arum, the legend, is there any, what's the one thing that Bob Arum, when you talk to him, that you know that you process in and you take it with you on your journey in your career?
Well, I haven't talked to him any time. I haven't talked to him recently. The only time I talked to him was when I first got signed to Top Rank. Talked to him and the matchmakers. I mean, there's nothing really much I can say that he told me, but what I can tell everybody is that I chose Top Rank and I signed to Top Rank because they are boxing. They had Mayweather, Oscar de la Hoya, Shane Mosley, Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto. These are the legends that all have started off their own promotions and their own businesses. And that's the best promoter in boxing. That's the best promoter they need to be with. Anybody coming up that wants to get known, that wants to get signed. Top Rank Boxing has made every fighter who they are today, going back to the 1960s. And that's what makes me choose to be with them.
Good week of boxing. Did you catch up on the Anthony Joshua and the Joseph Parker fight?
That's the only fight I didn't watch.
You didn't watch that?
No, I didn't watch. You know what? After, I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Why? What you heard about it?
I heard it was like a jabbing contest and a sparring session. And I was actually expecting a good fight. I was kind of, you know, I was real tired from training. So I was like, I'm either going to watch the fight or I'm going to take a nap. And I said, man, I'm so tired, I'm going to take a nap. But it is what it is. I'll catch up on the fight right now after.
Who was you leaning towards?
Oh, Anthony Joshua. I liked his work ethic. I like his mentality. I like, you know, I like his story. So that's why I was leaning towards him. Not because of his record, not because where he's from. I just like somebody who works hard, who believes in themselves, and who just, you know what I mean, is on a road to prove people wrong. So
what's your thoughts on Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder? Who would you take on that one?
I like Deontay Wilder too. I love his thoughts. I love the way he thinks. You know, everybody's always criticizing him, putting him down, and yeah, he's always proving people wrong. So, man, that's a hard fight. I like Deontay. He's a character, you know. That's his persona. He's a character, and that's what I love about it. Is he keeps it real. He doesn't try and play the good role or try to play a certain persona for the people. He plays himself. You like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. He don't care, and that's what I like about that fight. But I want to see that fight. I like both fighters, so may the best man win.
So your last fight was a tough one. Would you say that's your toughest fight, or you had another one in the past that, you know, that was like a tougher fight? You know, it's more of a thinking game. And
yeah, this fight was a thinking game. If anything, I thought it was easy. I didn't think it was too hard. It was actually easier than what I thought. I feel one of my toughest fights, one of my good fights, was when I fought for the title, when I fought Casey Ramos, just because of the weight cut that I was having. I was having to deal with fighting myself in the ring, trying to find my rhythm. And then another fight I had was my 10th professional fight, and nobody saw, against Cesar Valenzuela. I almost got knocked out. He wobbled me, and I came back and knocked him out in the 5th round. So that was a great fight, probably one of the hardest fights of my life, right there. So
if you can spar with any champs right now, man, what's a good spar who you like to spar with, and what's the future fight for you who you want to, you know, have a fight with?
As far as sparring, man, I don't care. It don't really matter. I feel like sparring's kind of unrealistic. You got headgear and you got 16-ounce gloves, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I know a lot of people, you know, put videos out of sparring and stuff, but sparring's unrealistic. Once you're in that ring with no headgear and that 8-ounce glove, it's a whole different story. These guys that you see do good in sparring sometimes get hit with the shot, and that's it.
They trash.
But yeah, they've been bad sparring these champions and stuff like that. Look at Eric De Leon. Sparring Brandon Rios, sparring Lomachenko, this and this and this. He had all the hype behind him, and look, made him look basic and one-dimensional. That's what I'm saying. Sparring is super unrealistic. It depends how you're sparring, what you're doing in sparring, and what you're trying to practice and study. It's all like a scientific practice that you got to be doing in there. It's not just throwing punches.
Yeah, I want an old tale, man. Do you get down before you fight, or how does that work?
What was that?
Do you? I'm trying to break it down. Do you, like, you know, with women, do you get down before fights, or you wait, or is that like a myth, or what?
That's the myth, bro. That's all the time. I've been doing that since I turned pro. And
you think that helped?
I think that's a, you know what, Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Ray Leonard, I heard they did it before.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right.
They did it not so close to a fight, but they did it like within, I do it within like 7 days before a fight. I feel if anything it relieves stress and kind of relaxes you. You're not as tense.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. So everybody argues with me with that. So
Did you notice a difference like the time that you didn't do it and the time that you did?
Yeah, I felt stiffer. That was my worst fight. That was my worst fight. That was actually the fight where I was just too tense, too stiff. I tried it.
So then you tried it was like better.
I was like, nah, I just gotta stick to who I am and what I like to do.
So coming up in boxing, man, like tell me like a couple fighters that you look up to. Like who's your favorite fighters?
Right now, Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
My favorite fighter, because he could adapt and he fights southpaw and right-handed. That's one of my favorite fighters right now that I really look up to. And it's hard for me to choose a fighter to learn from and look up to. I've watched his fights when he was 15, 16 and 0. And it's just amazing seeing how somebody can progress and develop and keep growing. So I like Terrence Crawford. Fighters in the past, man, I like a lot. I like Naseem Hamed. I like Marco Antonio Barreras. I like Eric Morales. Salvador Sanchez. There's just a lot of fighters that I like for different reasons, whether they're the way they fight because of their heart, conditioning. Salvador Sanchez had a lot of conditioning in his legs for 15 rounds. So I got a gang of fighters, a lot of fighters that I like.
It's funny you said Prince Naseem, man. He only had what, one loss in his career?
Yeah, I know.
But I'm like, what? He put on a lot of weight. Right. But I want to know, like, why did he stop? Like him coming into the ring, the antics that he did was like phenomenal, man. Like his entrance. Not too many people, it was hella entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hella entertaining, but not too many people do that. But why did you think he chose to quit after like one loss?
I think I don't know. I mean, I think he had to ask himself if he still had that hunger to prove something. And if he didn't, maybe he walked away. He was good. He was rich. He had money. So maybe he said, "I'm good." You know, living this boxing lifestyle is different. You're living a lifestyle that's so much sacrifice that you just got to make sure you're still hungry. And at that time, maybe he just was like, I'm good. This is it. Maybe he fulfilled his dream and did what he had to do. So it all has to, a lot of it has to do with what their desire is and what their dreams were. If they don't got no more dream, no more desire, it don't matter why he quit. He had the right to quit,
What's one of your main goals in boxing? Like, I know it'd be is it just to win a world title, or you have something a little bit more than that?
My dream as a kid, I don't like thinking too far, but my dream turning pro and as a kid was to be a world champion, 130, 135 pounds, and 140. Whatever happens after that is history. But that was just me being a kid, having those thoughts, dreaming with that. But I don't think that. I just think the first step is being a world champion at my division. Whatever else happened after that. But that was my goal of turning pro. 30, 35, and 40, because I feel I'm a natural 140 pounder. That's why it's those weight classes. But
so what's your dream matchup?
My dream matchup? I don't have a dream matchup. I don't know. It's a dream matchup.
Who you like to fight with? That you think after you get them, you'll be on the top of the pinnacle.
Oh, okay. Jeez. There's all kinds of guys in my weight class. I say Pitufo Diaz, and then there's another guy to Miguel Cotto Promotions, Alberto Machado. I'm sure those are matches that'll happen later in the future, pretty soon. But I'm keeping a close eye on everybody. As far as all the Golden Boy prospects, I don't really mention their names, or the Mayweather prospects, just because cross promotions. Yeah. It's always hard to happen. Fighters from different promoters. So that's why I didn't mention them. But there's all kinds. There's Gervonta Davis, there's King Rye, there's all these guys. But they're all with different promoters, so I don't really mention them as possible just because I'm with Top Rank. So,
as far as we're in the Bay Area, man, are you a Bay head with music, or you go a little outside your region, or?
I'm a Bay Area Bay head, but I listen to also sometimes East Coast rappers and stuff like that too.
Who your favorite rapper, man? Who you like? Give me your top three.
New ones or old ones?
Man, top three, dead or alive.
Man, rest in peace, Mac Dre.
There you go.
One a new one right now, Young Dolph. I like Young Dolph.
Young Dolph, Memphis.
And what's another one? Gucci.
Gucci Mane?
Yeah.
Brick Squad.
Yeah, he's bad.
1017. That's who you, when you do your training, that's who you listening to? Or
I bump all kinds of music though.
everything?
That's the thing. Yeah, I bump a lot of rap music. As I'm getting older, I'm finding myself I should listen to something different.
Why is that?
I don't know. You just start maturing and want to hear different music, different stuff. But nah, I listen to training. I listen to a lot of rap music. That's all I listen to is rap music.
Do you sometimes switch it up and go with more your roots, or you just hip hop?
There's times I have done that. It's kind of random when I do. That just means I'm sick of the rap. I want something different.
Yeah.
But reggaeton, I listen to reggaeton too. Ozuna, Daddy Yankee, all those guys. But nah, with training, I just like to hear rap music. It reminds me of the grind, the work. You know, a lot of these guys are talking about obviously something totally different, but still, it's the work, the grind, the late nights, the you know, the time that they put in. You know.
So tell people, like, besides boxing, what's one of a couple of things you like to do in your spare time?
My spare time, spend time with my animals, my dogs and stuff.
Animals?
Yeah.
What kind of animals you into?
I got my dogs. I got a dog. I got 2 dogs right now. A Labrador, half pit, and a little Chihuahua. But I like to be around animals, man. I think 7 years ago when I first got with my girl, I wasn't into animals. She kind of like brought that into my life. That's one thing.
So your girl brought animals into your life?
Yeah, my fiance.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, so that's you know a lot of people say like one thing a girl changes about you. Like that's one thing like she changed about me is like animals. Like I look at animals totally different in every way. And that's one thing I do now in my off time with her is like we'll spend time with the animals, go to the parks, go to a trail, hiking, whatever, just to spend time.
Do you think later on down in your career, well, like you know what I mean, would you think about having like a foundation for like, you know, animals and needing help or something like that? Was that something you would get into?
Yeah, I actually work with the Humane Society of Silicon Valley. We actually work closely. What we're trying to do right now is we're trying to do either a San Jose or a Bay Area animal run. So like where everybody brings their dog and we go for like a 3K race, whatever, with all the animals, just to kind of get people involved because like a lot of people give back. A lot of people give back to children and people and communities, which I understand is important. But you know, I kind of want to give back. I want to give back in a different way to animals. You know, a lot of animals are abandoned in the streets, homeless, don't have nothing. So I want to give back in a different way. I want to serve both ways, not only the people, but as far as nature and animal life as well. You know, just kind of be different. You know, I feel like everybody does one thing. Why not do something a little different?
So what do you think, man? We live in a different times where, you know, the rent is hella high, man. It's just hella expensive.
That's how it is.
And you being from San Jose, I stay in the Oakland area, and that's like the 3 main like expensive areas is, you know, San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland. But it's a lot of money for rent, everything hella high. But there's like a serious of homelessness. Yeah. Like we see like like, you know, people sleeping in tents all the time. How do you feel about that? And like, you know, what's your thoughts on that, man? Because it's kind of sad, man. Like, you know, we look up, we see these expensive homes, then you got to see people that's just living in the street.
But I feel like it's half and half with the people living in the streets. I feel there's half the people are really homeless. They deserve help. They need help. But I feel like the other half of the homeless are choosing to be here, choosing to be homeless, choosing to get into drugs. I work armed security out here in San Jose, so I deal with a lot of homeless. A lot of homeless that I deal with. Don't get me wrong, some are homeless. You know, you can tell right away. But then you get the regulars that are just tweaking at every shopping center, and then that's where it's just not cool because then they start giving stuff to other kids and other people, and then now you have a problem creating. But it is sad. I mean, we live in one of the most expensive cities, and hearing the high rent, that just stresses me out because I know what it is. We currently rent right now, and it's through the roof. My dream is to eventually own a house and live here, but if it doesn't happen, I understand why. You know, it's hard out here. It's hard out here, you know.
I'm just wondering what you guys are doing.
Oh, we interview.
No, don't put me on camera.
We're doing an interview.
You're doing an interview.
Yeah. Professional boxer.
Oh, you're a professional boxer.
Yeah.
What weight are you?
130 pounds.
No, lightweight.
Super featherweight.
A featherweight. Wow, congratulations. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Wow. I was wondering what you guys were doing. I'm like, wow, you've been standing there for quite a while.
No problem.
My goodness.
So it's you know, it's very nice. So as far as like, you know, movies, you into like a lot of movies, shows, TV shows, or is just mostly take your time as just with training?
Just take my time with training. When I watch TV, I watch some movies with my girl and TV shows. But yeah, just training and boxing, like boxing head. When I'm not working or training, I'm kind of watching boxing or some movies, you know, with the girl.
Yeah. So you know, at the end of this, man. So tell the people, you know, what you have coming up next. Your social media, Instagram, the way to get in contact with you, and what's your message to the kids?
My Facebook is Andy Vences, all capital letters. My Twitter's at Andy Vences, together in one word, and my Instagram is Vences1. People can expect me back. All my fans, all my family and friends could expect me back in the ring probably in, I want to say July, maybe June. Just because this went a good 10 rounds, they'll probably give me some time, so they could expect me back in the ring in the summer. To all my fans, to all the people and all the kids, man, you know, that follow me, all I want to tell you guys is, you know, man, dream big and work hard, and, you know, listen to your parents, and just be respectful in every day. There's about 3 words I live by is thank you, please, and I'm grateful, you know. Always remember to be humble, and don't ever forget why you started and where you came from. And that's one thing I do, is I never forget how I started. All the people that know me, I've always talked to everybody, give back, and I always take the time for my fans and my people, because that's what's important.
All right, man, we here with my man, Andy Vences, man. Honor, you know what I'm saying, pleasure talking with you, man, chopping it up, man. Much love and blessings, man. And we're going to continue to see you on your journey to success.
Thank you, bro.